We got the Bellator champion, Darrion Caldwell, back here on the program. Of course, he's going to be fighting on the New Year's Eve card for RIZIN against Kyoji Horiguchi. Darrion, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, James. How about yourself?
I'm doing excellent, man. Today is Tuesday morning. What does a typical Tuesday look like for you?
Well, today I'm gonna go into Alliance here in San Diego. Got Jay Flo. He's gonna be coming in to teach some judo slash jiu-jitsu, flow grappling, pretty much. We'll do that, and then this afternoon I'll do some sprints, and then call it a day.
And big opportunity here at the end of the month, like I mentioned off the top. How did this all come together? Was this something you asked Bellator for? Like, hey, I want to fight on the RIZIN card. Did they present this to you? How did this all come together?
Well, it was something that was mentioned by Scott Coker. You know that he wanted to see his 35-pound champ, fight the RIZIN bantamweight champ. And I immediately jumped on it. I thought it would be a great opportunity. So uh, that's that's where that kind of came about.
Yeah, and it's excellent. Now, is this your first time going to Japan, or have you been there before?
Actually, my first time fighting out of the country, but I've
Oh,
never,
yeah, no way.
no,
Nice. Okay.
no, I've never been to Japan. So I'm looking forward to going out there.
Yeah, and what does it mean to get to fight for RIZIN? I know that's sort of a bucket list item for a lot of fighters, being able to fight, at the former home of Pride. I mean, it's a big deal getting to do that in a fighter's career.
Absolutely, man. It's a fighter's dream to be able to go and fight at, the famous arena out there, and just compete in front of all the pioneered fans. It originated out there, and so to be able to go out there and perform is definitely a blessing.
And another added bonus on competing on this card is Floyd Mayweather is going to be on the card fighting, Teshin. Just your thoughts on getting to fight on the same card as him?
I think it's a good opportunity to get some spotlight to be able to bring more fans to my brand. I think once they see me fight, they're gonna have no choice but to take a liking to my style, and um, using Floyd as a mechanism, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's going to get more eyeballs on the card, which is great because this card's already pretty stacked. And then you add Floyd Mayweather in there, you're going to get that many more people tuning in, which is awesome. Let's talk about the matchup, though. Horiguchi's only got 2 losses in his career. He's got that 25-2 record. How do you feel like you match up against him here?
Well, Horiguchi is a tough opponent. He poses a lot of threats that I've not seen. He's elusive. He's fast. He's super bouncy. I almost feel like it's gonna be like a cat versus a mouse. And he's just a slippery guy. So it's a great opportunity to be able to test my skills against a guy like Horiguchi. Um, Definitely looking to bring back that second title, that second back here to the U.S. So um, I expect a great show that night.
Yeah, and it's a great matchup, and I'm glad you brought up the cat and mouse thing because a cat's a lot bigger than a mouse, and I think if you look at this matchup, I mean, you last fought at 45, Kyoji's fought as low as flyweight. Do you feel like the size and perhaps the strength in this matchup, there might be an advantage there on your end? Do you feel like that's going to be a factor in this fight?
I think so, but I don't think. I just think it's because of me. I think he's very qualified to go up and fight guys my size at the 35-pound weight and handle them very well. I just feel like with me, I feel like as strong as a 55er. So it's a little different when you're fighting a guy like me coming down from 45 to 35 and you're going up from 25 to 35. But the guy you're fighting has the strength of a 55er. So. Um, I guess that's gonna, he's gonna run into trouble when it comes to me grabbing him. But first I gotta get my hands on him.
Right. Yeah, and of course you're known for your wrestling. Do you feel like he's ever fought a wrestler like you before in his career?
I don't think so. I actually, it's 100% fact that he's not faced a wrestler like me. There's no other wrestlers like me, so um, he'll get a different feel in that cage when it comes to the grappling side.
And you mentioned training at Alliance. Of course, that's home base for you. Who have been some of your main training partners for this camp, helping you get ready for the fight?
Well, obviously Dominic Cruz has always got his hand in my camp. He's very vocal in my camps, and Eric Del Fierro. Um, we just recently brought out Orlando Jimenez from Arizona State wrestling team. He's going to be, hands-on throughout this camp, and he's been hands-on. He'll be flying out to Japan with me. So, um, it's pretty much the same flow. Try to keep the base and the core guys around me that's been around. So that's how we fall, man.
Yeah, and if it's working, why switch things up? I mean, you got to keep what's working for you. You don't want to mess anything up, as they say. On that same note, who's going to be flying down to Japan with you as far as your corner? Because I know you have a couple teammates with upcoming fights. How does that all work?
Well, it's kind of coincidence. Angela Hill, she's gonna be out there. Her and her boyfriend, who's one of our striking coaches, they'll be out there just visiting. So it's kind of a coincidence that we'll be fighting the same weekend that they're gonna be out there. So they're gonna come to the fight. Um, we got obviously Jimenez and that I just mentioned, Eric Del Fiero, and then Nikki Piedmont's gonna come out. So those will be my three cornermen. Those three guys there, and then just a few other just home base support, you know.
Yeah, no, it's good to have that heading over there. Now, you're a guy who never misses weight, but I know obviously this is your first time fighting out of the country. Do you have to alter that weight cut a little bit just because you're going to have a long plane ride to get over there?
I don't know. It's something that I'll have to see once time arrives. Like, you know, I can't really like make any calls right now. All I can do is get my weight down as low as possible before I leave, and then catch this flight. And once I get out there, then um, finish the weight cut.
When are you getting out there? Have you got your itinerary yet?
Yeah, I get out there on the 20. Well, I'll leave on the 26th, so I'll get out there like 27th or something.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's good. You get a couple days because I know sometimes with the travel and stuff, it takes you a bit to get acclimatized, and especially for you because this is all new for you.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely getting out there a little early in advance to get acclimated to the weather and just the time change.
A big part of training camp is recovery. You got to make sure you're as healthy as you can be heading into the fight. What's sort of the go-to for recovery right now for this training camp?
For me, Terphouse has always been my go-to these last few camps. Um, for me to be able to go from a wrestling practice right now and then have to hit a hard track sprint after this afternoon, it's pretty demanding, you know. So to have supplements like Terphouse is definitely making everything much smoother um, and taking a lot of the pain, the information away.
And how do you see this fight playing out on the 31st?
I see this fight going no pat, nowhere past the first. I see. Um, I, I just feel once I get my hands on this guy, I'm gonna be too much. So
Okay, I like that. And what's the plan after this? I know you're not looking at past Kyoji here, but if you win the title, how's that going to work going forward? Because you're the Bellator champ, and I know you've talked about fighting for the featherweight title as well in Bellator. Like what's the plan for 2019?
well, the plan for 2019 is to have three belts. You know, four if possible. You know, if I can uh, get the featherweight belt at Bellator, and then RIZIN call me for a belt featherweight title fight. You know, I'm all for it. You know, so I can should possibly have four belts by the end of 2019. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just belt collecting.
And has Bellator told you anything about what's happening with the bantamweight division? Because right now, I mean, outside of you being the champion, there isn't a whole lot of activity going on. James Gallagher lost. You have obviously Michael McDonald retiring. Like, have they told you anything about what's happening with that division?
Well, there's still guys that's strong in that division. You got Archuleta, you got Bendejas. You know, we'll see. Like, hopefully they'll get a crack at each other, and then the winner of that is decides the number one contender fight. But there's still some meat inside of the bantamweight division at Bellator. Um, but we just have different plans for the champ, for myself. We know it doesn't stop there. We know like that we can do bigger things than just one belt. So while these guys figure out, who's the number one contender, we're gonna go ahead and take care of other things.
Before I let you go, I talked about the travel heading over to Japan. What are you going to be doing on the airplane? Are you going to be loading up on podcasts, downloading some movies, playing some video games? What would I find you doing on the airplane?
I'm gonna be sleeping for real. I'm gonna try to sleep as much as possible. I might watch a movie or something, but honestly, I'm just trying to pass out for the whole 14 hours. Like I'll be cutting weight, and obviously, uh, you know, chances are I'm not gonna sleep the whole 14 hours. But as much as I can, I'll probably be resting.
Any, I guess, no Christmas movies because this would be after Christmas. You said you're heading down on Boxing Day, right?
Yeah, nah, no Christmas movies, man. I'm good off those. But probably some fight movies. samurai, something
Gotta get Bloodsport on there. That's a classic.
blood sport, right? Yeah, nah, for sure. Something that'll get my blood boiling and ready to take action during the week.
It's going to be an awesome card. It's coming up here New Year's Eve. It is RIZIN 14. Darrion, always great getting a chance to talk to you, man. Just if you got anything you want to plug at all, by all means, the floor is yours. Otherwise, we're looking forward to this fight on New Year's Eve.
I appreciate Terphouse for the continuous support. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, at The Wolf MMA. Or, yeah, that's my hashtag.